command early on, simply because you can just use it for the scanner sweeps or the mule cooldowns while it's still in your base. And when you feel comfortable with using, when you feel comfortable taking another expansion, you can do that and not have to worry. But here are my two Banshees. I'm just waiting on my cloaking research to be finished, and he's got a lot of Marines, and he's expecting a Banshee rush because of his attack, because he was able to scout out a little bit here. But I fly in and realize that, okay, he's got a missile turret here, so I won't be able to do that much damage to his mineral line. I fire off a few shots, managed to find a blank, an empty spot here, and then so I'm taking out a few SCVs. But I guess since his missile turret's there, he gains sight on my Banshees and happens to take him down, which is kind of too bad. But it shows that, you know, Marines at the beginning of the game is a decent counter to the Banshee rush. And but instead of deciding to switch tech right away, I built a few more Banshees because I went for 2 starports here with 2 tech labs, and so I'm able to produce Banshees pretty quickly. I'm thinking, okay, if he's got his missile turrets at the back, he's probably got nothing up at the front. So I decide to cloak and start taking out Marines, because they pretty much died to 2 missile waves from Banshees, and the Marines won't be able to do too much damage to me. He scanner sweeps me, but I don't decide to stick around. I fly away, wait till the cloak is off, and then come back and do a little bit more harassing. Now he can spend another scanner sweep right about now, but the damage is already done. I've killed like tons of Marines, like that's almost all of his Marine army right there, and he decides to scan me again, but I just book it because the damage is done. I've killed like most of his ground army, and if I do a repair and come back with the Banshees, then he's not in a good position. He's gonna have to build a few missile towers, maybe pump out a few more Marines in order to stop my push. But during this time, I've got 2 barracks, and I've been producing a few Marauders and a few Marines at a time, going for a bit of a bio ball. And I decide, you know what, I killed most of his Marines, it's time to push up. So I send my Banshees back in for a little bit of harass. He smartly builds a Raven, and so he's able to detect my Banshees, so I won't be able to attack with them. So I just decide to fly away and draw the Banshees, the Vikings and the Raven away from the attack. And so I move in with my Marines and Marauders, and these are a really powerful ground combination. He was moving his siege tanks into the middle to gain sight, and unfortunately I happen to be in the area, and he loses quite a few siege tanks needlessly. But I scan here and get visual of the high ground, and I take out his supply depots and just start my push in. It's because I killed those Marines at the beginning that I'm able to push in and move into his mineral line, so there isn't too much he can do. It's too bad that he didn't produce a few more Marines, but I get into the back here and he GG's and leaves, which is too bad because I was hoping that he would stay in for a little bit longer, and you know, maybe we'd have more of an interesting fight. But I can kind of see where he was going. I had broken into his mineral line and taken out a lot of his SCVs, kind of pushed him back into production, and I still had my Banshees up and running, so I could have just flown in and continued the harassment on his army or his mineral line, whichever I wanted, and there wouldn't be that much he could do. So it kind of shows you the power of the Banshee rush. It's always good to have maybe 1 or 2 starports if you're planning to do the Banshee rush, simply because you can pump them out pretty fast, and if you need to do a transition, you can just lift one off and build a reactor and start pumping out Vikings to support your Banshees, and you can have a pretty heavy Banshee Viking army right there. So yeah, that's the Banshee rush. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys found it useful. Remember, if you are trying to counter the Banshee Rush, Marines are probably a decent unit to use, but Vikings are also a very good counter to the Banshees. You want to be sure you're not losing too many units to the Banshees. Unfortunately for him, I had picked off almost all of his, I think that was pretty much all of his Marines, so he had no real ground force to deal with any kind of attack, and that's why I felt the timing was perfect when I brought in my Marauders and Marines. So, but yeah, that's the Banshee Rush. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for some more videos later. See ya.